In the dead of night at the zoo, the security guard was dozing off. Suddenly, a piercing scream jolted him awake. Groggy, the guard stepped outside to check and saw a massive black python devouring an elephant with its gaping maw. Terrified, the guard fled for his life, running straight to the police station to report it. But the police didn't believe him. Thinking there couldn't be a python that swallows an elephant, they thought the guard was delusional and sent him to the hospital's psychiatric ward. However, the giant python soon arrived at the hospital, causing chaos. But the python wasn't after the guard. It was targeting a blonde girl in the hospital. Where did this python come from? And why was it chasing this blonde girl? The story starts a few days earlier when a strange snake-shaped pit appeared in Los Angeles. It seemed like some mysterious creature had emerged from the ground. The protagonist, a journalist named Ethan, rushed to the scene. A piece of black scale in the ruins caught his attention. 15 years ago, when Ethan was a child, he saw a similar scale in an antique shop. At that time, he and his father visited an antique shop, where Ethan discovered a mysterious box while exploring. The box suddenly opened when it sensed Ethan, and a beam of light shot toward him. Jack, the shop owner, excused himself, telling Ethan's father to go to the pharmacy next door to get medicine, then called Ethan over. He told Ethan that the item was a scale from a black python. The owner also told Ethan a myth. Every 500 years, a girl with a dragon pearl would be born. When the girl turned 20, the dragon pearl inside her would mature. A gift from the heavens with the power to transform a python into a dragon. A kind silver python, with the dragon pearl, would become a guardian dragon. An evil black python, with the dragon pearl, would become a dragon of destruction. 500 years ago, a Korean girl named Naren was such a dragon pearl girl. To ensure the pearl matured, the heavens sent a master and his apprentice to protect Naren. Haram grew up with Naren and slowly fell in love with her, but their love was destined for tragedy. Naren needed to offer the dragon pearl to the righteous silver python on her 20th birthday. The python, with the pearl, would become a guardian dragon, but Naren would die without the pearl. On Naren's 20th birthday, the evil black python and an ironclad army came to steal the pearl. They stormed the village, killing indiscriminately. Ordinary people were no match for the python. After a fierce battle, many soldiers died. The soldiers gathered all the girls, trying to find the one with a dragon-shaped birthmark on her shoulder. They soon found Naren's home, killed her father, and exposed Naren's identity by tearing her clothes to reveal the birthmark. The soldiers forcibly took her away. Fortunately, the master and Haram rescued Naren, but they were eventually discovered by the black python. Haram and Naren were cornered on a cliff and jumped into the sea to prevent the black python from getting the pearl. After telling this story, Jack gave Ethan a dragon-shaped pendant as a talisman and revealed a shocking truth. Ethan was the reincarnation of Haram, who had jumped into the sea 500 years ago. Jack was the reincarnation of the master. Jack declared that this lifetime's dragon pearl girl was a blonde named Sarah. Sarah was also the reincarnation of the Korean girl Naren, and Ethan's mission was to find and protect Sarah, then offer her to the silver python to complete the unfinished mission. Back then, Ethan thought Jack was a fraud, but now, seeing the black scale again, he suddenly realized that everything Jack said might be true. Ethan had a premonition that the evil black python was searching for the dragon pearl. According to the clues provided by Jack, this year marked the 20th year since the dragon pearl girl's birth. So Ethan had to find Sarah before the black python did. In such a big city, there were hundreds of young girls named Sarah. Which one was the dragon pearl girl? Just when Ethan was at a loss, he received a message. Last night, a black python attacked a villa, and a girl was eaten. The villa owner's name was Sarah. Ethan rushed to the scene and learned from neighbors that the deceased girl was Sarah's best friend. Sarah had also seen the strange black scale on the TV news. She had been plagued by terrifying memories of the python and started having nightmares every night. Sarah suspected she had a mental problem and went to the hospital for treatment. Her best friend was packing clothes for her when the python devoured her. Ethan's instincts told him the truth. The friend's death was an accident. The python's true target was Sarah. This Sarah was likely the dragon pearl girl he was looking for. Following the neighbor's directions, Ethan arrived at Sarah's hospital, but before they could talk much, the python tracked them down.
Come on! Let's go!
Fortunately, Ethan's colleague arrived in time and drove them away from the hospital. In the midst of escaping, Ethan and Sarah managed to fall in love. To help Sarah understand the whole situation, Ethan took her to a friend's house. Ethan's friend was a psychologist who used hypnosis to awaken Sarah's past life memories. Sarah turned out to be the reincarnation of the Korean girl Naren. Just then, the black python tracked them down again, and they had to flee by car. The unlucky psychologist and his house were crushed to pieces. Ethan had no time to mourn his friend. He was focused on saving Sarah. Since they couldn't escape on land, they decided to try the sky. Ethan asked his colleague to arrange a helicopter. His colleague was very efficient and quickly got it ready. While waiting for the helicopter, they went to a cafe for a coffee, but the python sensed the dragon pearl and crashed into the cafe, killing everyone inside. Sarah and the others managed to escape. They tried to drive away again, but the python blocked their path by tossing a car at them.
Get in, come on!
As the python was about to swallow Sarah, a group of police arrived and began shooting at it. Although the bullets couldn't harm the python, they bought Ethan and Sarah time to escape. The python became enraged, thrashing through the streets. Ethan and Sarah finally reached the rooftop where the helicopter was waiting, but as soon as they boarded, the python bit the landing gear. The helicopter wobbled in the air, and they had to jump out, just before it crashed. Now, Ethan and Sarah had no way out and prepared for the worst. Just then, a military force arrived. Armed jets fired at the python and launched several missiles. Under the fierce attack from the military, the python finally fell to the ground but was not seriously injured. Ethan and Sarah managed to escape again, and the python completely lost it. It roared angrily, summoning a horde of monsters. Suddenly, a swarm of pterodactyls filled the sky, and a group of black armored knights riding ancient beasts appeared on the ground. They were the ironclad army that invaded Korea 500 years ago, though it's unclear where they had been hiding all this time. The two forces quickly engaged in a fierce battle, setting the entire city ablaze. Seeing the devastated city and the heavy casualties, Ethan and Sarah refused to give up. They decided to drive towards the deserted countryside, but they were soon caught by several flying dragons. This time, with no help in sight, they were taken back to the black python's lair. With its prey secured, the python ended the city battle and returned to its lair. The ironclad army also gathered to witness the python's glorious moment. But just as the python was about to swallow Sarah, a beam of light flew into Ethan's pendant. The dragon-shaped pendant on his neck suddenly emitted a powerful energy. The energy wave incinerated the entire ironclad army, leaving only the python unharmed. To prevent any further mishaps, the python opened its jaws to devour Sarah again. At this moment, the legendary silver python appeared and intercepted the black python. The two pythons immediately engaged in a fierce battle, but the silver python was no match for the black one. Within a few rounds, the silver python was knocked to the ground. Seeing the silver python on the brink of death, unable to fight back, Sarah decided to accept her fate and offered herself as a sacrifice. She waved her hand, and a dragon pearl flew from her body into the silver python's mouth. Deprived of the dragon pearl, Sarah fainted, while the silver python, rejuvenated by the pearl, transformed into a dragon. The ensuing battle was one-sided, and the black python was ultimately incinerated by the dragon's fire breath. After the battle, Sarah's soul bid a final farewell to Ethan before merging with the dragon pearl and ascending with the dragon. As it ascended, the kind white dragon shed tears for the innocent lives lost and for Ethan and Sarah's unfulfilled love. Ethan, in a daze, saw his master, who told him he had completed his mission before disappearing from Ethan's sight. The movie ends here. Whether human or creature, there is always a duality of good and evil. No matter the difficulties we face, maintaining a positive and kind attitude will ultimately lead to victory.